Hi again, fam. What are we going to talk? Oh, yes. An empath versus spiritual discernment. So, what's the difference? Ever walk into a room and instantly absorb someone else's anxiety or sadness? Science says you are likely an empath with highly active mirror neurons, the brain cells responsible for reflecting other people's emotions. Your brain is literally wired to feel what they feel. So, mirror neurons are emotional mirrors. But as a believer, God often upgrades this natural sensitivity to something more deeper, the spiritual gift of discernment. While an empath feels what the person is feeling, discernment reveals why they are feeling it, uncovering the spiritual root or truth behind this emotion. Empath, again, feels the emotion, and discernment knows the spirit behind it. So I'm going to mention biblical examples. So we see this beautiful mix of empathy and divine insight all over Scripture. First one is Genesis chapter 40, verse 6 to 7. He felt the heavy sorrow of his cellmates, but his discernment allowed him to interpret the divine meaning behind their dreams. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 1, the weeping prophet, whose intense empathy made him feel God's own heartbreak for a broken nation. In John chapter 11, verse 33 to 35, when Mary wept for Lazarus, Jesus didn't just analyze the situation. His empathy made him weep, while his divine discernment knew a resurrection was coming. Now, empath and discernment, having both of these can feel overwhelming, like carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. I'm going to tell you about my experiences. Now, I'm not, although I've been telling people this, that I am an empath, but I don't understand it on when it happens or how it happens or what triggers it. I can just give examples of situations that I have felt before, but how I understand it from my perspective, because as you've seen in my previous videos, I've been talking a lot about my traumas, and multiple times I have hit rock bottom. Now, I'm so familiar with it of hitting rock bottom that I think that's what I feel from these people. Now, it's not often because some of them I see a person who's sad, but I don't feel anything. But once I feel something, I can't help but approach this person and just talk, just have a conversation. So the first story is an office mate. Now, this person was always cheerful at work, and sometimes she's just normal and just tired from commute, I guess. But this one time that she arrived, and so as she passed behind me, I felt this intense emotion. And when it happens, it feels here somewhere in my on my solar plexus or sigmura in Tagalog. It's a mix of acidity and muscle pain, but nothing happens. There's no acid reflux or anything like that. It just feels here, and it's uncomfortable. Well, anyways, so that's the time that I was trying to understand. Maybe this is I am an empath. I asked myself, maybe we could try. So as she sat down and was working already, so I asked, how are you doing? Like, I'm fine, of course. And she was smiling. Okay. Then it's not going away at all. So I decided to tell her a story of my experiences, my traumas of before, and it made me feel sensitive to certain emotions. So by the time I turned to look at her, she was sobbing already. She was really crying her eyes out. I was like, oh, I hope I didn't do anything wrong. I'm really sorry if I triggered a bad memory. No. And she admitted she was undergoing stress presently, and there are a lot of uh, well problems. I wouldn't go into it for privacy reasons. So we got to talk about it. So I get to alleviate her pain. So after that, that's when I realized that maybe I experienced all of those traumas before, so I could understand more on how to help them by letting them process their feelings or emotions better. So on to my next story, and same thing happened. So different work environment. So same cheerful person arrived, and this person has a position in the company. So, but this person offered to. Oh, sorry. This person offered. Is it was during her training. This person offered to if we would need help. She can stay after the training hours to give us extra help. I volunteered immediately, but my intentions were different. Of course, yes, I still do need help, but eventually, while we were speaking, I confessed that I have other intentions, and again, I noted, or I told her my experiences before. And again, when I looked up, this person was crying her eyes out again. So, oh yes, so we get to talk about her problems and what she's undergoing, and I just help her process again her emotions, help alleviate the pressure. Wasn't able to resolve any problem, but I was there to be there, present for her. And in my last story, I had this friend, a guy friend. We met at a cafe. This was the first time meeting this person, and we get to talk about different things. And he was actually trying to assess who I am as a person, and I have this tendency I have experienced this with a lot of people. Once you get me alone, we're just talking to each other. I tend to feel and ask very specific questions that pops in my head, respectfully, of course, respectful questions. And for some reason, whenever I ask these questions, they tell me their whole life story. These people, usually when this happens, they even tell me things that they haven't told their own families or own friends, and have known them for a really long time. But they manage to disclose certain sensitive information. But I just admitted that, yeah, I have that tendency once I get me alone. I never mentioned that I was an empath, because it just happens. I don't have to announce it. But anyways, so I was able to discuss and able to relate. There are certain traumas that this person has experienced and I have experienced as well. So I get to explain who I am by discussing on our past traumas. So eventually we became friends. Remember this: divine gifts given are never given to us to be carried as a burden. God gave you a heart that feels deeply and a spirit that sees clearly, so you can love loudly. Your empathy is the bridge. Your discernment is the compass. Use them to heal, comfort, and to lead others out of darkness. Again, feel deeply, see clearly, love loudly. So that's it for now, my beloved. Thank you.